As you know, in GST law, there are several restrictive conditions for availment of input tax credit. One such condition which has been the bone of contention between the taxpayers and the department is condition imposed under section 16(2)(c). Under section 16(2)(c), your eligibility to avail input tax credit is dependent upon the condition that your supplier must have paid tax to the government through 3B. Meaning thereby that in cases where you have claimed ITC based on invoices issued by your supplier and you have paid GST on such inward supplies, but the supplier has not declared such outward supplies in his GSTR 3B and consequently has failed to pay the corresponding tax to the government, the department may issue notices to you asking you to reverse the input tax credit on such invoices. This is clearly a harsh provision for the simple reason that no one can control the affairs of the other person. The eligibility of ITC to the bona fide purchaser should not be made dependent upon the act of some other person on whom the bona fide purchaser does not have any control. This provision has been a controversial one right from its inception and has been a subject matter of plethora of litigation. GST law has given very wide powers to the tax authorities to invoke their administrative powers in order to make an attempt to plug the revenue leakage. But what the law has failed in its objective is to separate genuine cases from intentional ones. The GST authorities have been using provisions of section 16(2)(c) in GST scrutiny and audit cases to deny bona fide ITC to the purchaser. In such cases, let's now take a look at how to defend your case in proceedings of ASMT 10 or show cause notice issued on this particular issue. Here are a few suggestions on putting forth your arguments. Number 1. There is a famous legal maxim that lex non cogit ad impossibilia. Law cannot compel a person to do what is impossible for him to do, or in other words, law cannot force a person to perform something which is impossible to perform. So accordingly, a bona fide purchaser does not have access or control over other person. Number 2. Section 16(2)(c) is violative of Article 14 of the Constitution, that is equality before law. It seeks to equate the bona fide persons with the mala fide persons, which is not justified legally. The law must separate the guilty minds with the innocent ones. Number 3. Constitutional validity of section 16(2)(c) under challenge in writ petition before various high courts such as Honorable Bombay High Court in case of Unifab Engineering, Tripura High Court in case of Sile Enterprises, Calcutta High Court in case of Anirudh Banerjee, Calcutta High Court again in case of Surya Alloy Industries Limited, to name a few. Number 4. Honorable Delhi High Court in case of Arise India Limited has held that denying input tax credit on the pretext of supplier being defaulter is violative of Article 14 of the Constitution, as it treats both the innocent purchasers and guilty minds equally. Number 5. In case of LGW Industries vs Union of India, the Honorable Calcutta High Court has laid down that shifting the incidence of tax from the supplier to buyer, over whom it has no control whatsoever, is violative of Article 19(1)(g) and 300(a). In the absence of any finding about petitioner's mala fide intention, connivance of wrongful association with the supplier, no liability can be fastened on the purchasing dealer. Number 6. Apart from these judgments, in a number of cases, the Honorable High Courts have upheld the proposition that ITC cannot be denied to recipients due to default of suppliers. Most notable of these is the judgment of Honorable Madras High Court in the case of D.Y. Bethel Enterprises, wherein it was held that the department must take action against the defaulting supplier first before coming to the bona fide purchaser. A question that arises here is, what if my supplier has failed to pay tax in his 3B but has discharged the same through DRC 03? It seems that law is not clear in this regard. If on inquiry it was found out that some supplier has not paid due taxes in the corresponding 3B or has filed nil 3B, the department may invoke section 16(2)(c). But in the absence of an independent inquiry from the supplier, the department is highly unlikely to be in a position to determine whether the corresponding tax liability has been discharged by the supplier through DRC 03 or not. And in my opinion, unless such a detailed inquiry into the matter is carried out by the department, it is really gross injustice to demand reversal from the purchasing taxpayer. Even otherwise, there is no mechanism available to the purchaser to sneak peek into the returns filed by the supplier to find out whether corresponding tax liability has been discharged by him or not. GSTR 2A is a dynamic document and only provides information on filing or non-filing of 3B by the suppliers, and that too at various points in time. Moreover, one practical limitation is that it is not possible to imagine that both the supplier and the recipient are filing their 3B at almost the same time. To overcome this difficulty, recently Rule 37A has been inserted, which provides for manner of reversal of ITC by the recipient in case the supplier failed to file 3B till a specified period and reclaim the ITC so reversed once this default is made good by the concerned supplier. But here again, the onus is on filing of 3B only, while the manner of payment of tax can be DRC 03 as well. One also wonders how this matching will be done if the supplier misses out the outward supplies in the concerned period but declares the same and pays the due tax on it in subsequent tax period. In that case, whether the department is willing to go one extra mile and make its own efforts to find out whether the supplier discharged the tax liability in subsequent period before embarking on a recovery spree against the bona fide purchaser. So these are my suggestive arguments to take up a case against reversal of ITC under section 16(2)(c). I feel that in genuine cases at least, one must attempt to put forth his arguments before the department strongly to defend his bona fide ITC, even though departmental officers are highly unlikely to accept your arguments and most probably the matter is likely to end up in litigation before the higher forums. But if there is genuine hardship and tax quantum is also on the higher side, then it may be a fit case to take the case in litigation. Offer your comments in the comments box. What's your take on this issue? For regular tax updates and query resolutions, discussions, analysis, don't forget to subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon. Thank you.